Hey everyone, it's Kong again, and this time we have just another chill, casual little fireside chat. I know I mentioned a rant in the title, and there's no sense stringing you along with the promise of drama, so I'm gonna come right out swinging. This might seem like it's coming from left field, but it was actually prompted in response to a previous video I did. In one of my earlier fireside chat videos, I mentioned that I didn't get into the YouTube game to watch my analytics panel, and after that I started getting questions from people about analytics and what that means. Rather than talk about ads and revenue and boring stuff like that, I thought I'd instead take this opportunity to address some of the sneaky ways that YouTube tries to pivot content creators from being hobbyists, or maybe artists at best, over to being business people. And YouTube uses that language explicitly, offering you tips on how to, quote, build your channel and your business. Now, I'm sure some bigger channels definitely have a lot more to say on that front, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who legitimately do intend to use YouTube content as a kind of business. Power to them. But I've gotten enough of a taste of YouTube's force-fed FOMO to have some thoughts of my own. Now, Facebook is already notorious for this, and if you've ever set up or organized or run a page or a group on Facebook, you're probably familiar with how your notifications start getting flooded with great deals on ad buys and marketing push recommendations, suggestions for how to frame your page to get more valuable views. YouTube seems less aggressive about it, but they still manage to be pretty passive-aggressive about it. One of the ways they do this is by floating a whole bunch of advertising options at you and forcing you to ask, how many of these boxes can I click on without making people stop watching a video? Gotta keep that average view duration up after all. Just speaking for myself, if I see an unskippable ad, I'm usually very tempted to close the video right away. If the content is something I can just throw on and listen to while I'm doing other stuff, like a podcast or talking head news type stuff like the Langrisser Lookout or Fireside Chat type content, then I don't really mind as much. But if it's something I want to look at the screen for because there's a lot going on, like an event challenge or something like that, then having that delayed gratification right at the start of the video gets really annoying. So for that reason, I've never used unskippable ads in my videos. Does that hurt my revenue? Sure, of course it does. Here's another thing. Have you ever wondered why so many YouTubers fill their videos with notification bell animations and please to like and subscribe and join the channel and please subscribe? YouTube actually floats these kinds of stats at you to try to make you feel like you're missing out on precious engagement. So they actually have a whole analytics panel on your subscriber bell notification stats. Oh man, they say 10 to 30% is typical, and I'm on the low end of that? You gotta feel like you have to remind people how to use YouTube in every video. Personally, again, I can count on one hand the number of times an exhortation to smash that bell icon has actually made me do it. If I like the content, I know what buttons to press. I've used this app before. Maybe I'm just bad at self-promotion, but I don't mind giving people some credit and trying to keep the focus on the content. Hell, my fellow Langrisser content creator Shizuka doesn't even voice their videos. You know what you're going to see. Langrisser gameplay. Of course, my mellow baritone is an asset I can't easily put aside, so I guess I'll have to make a snazzy animated intro or something for some reason. Anyway, it's the same story with subscribers. YouTube tries to angle these percentages at you like you're messing something up. What, only 40% of my watch time is from subscribers? What the hell are all those other people doing flying by without slamming that subscribe button? But listen, the reality is our expectations of these stats present an unrealistic interpretation of how a lot of people use YouTube. Not everyone is living on here actively engaging in a community like me and many of you. Some people just come online on Thursday, type Langrisser into the search bar, and then watch whatever comes up, and that's cool, they're living their lives. I'm definitely not subscribed to every single channel whose videos I've watched. But seriously, if you have made it this far, then please do press the necessary buttons so YouTube stops shaming me. I'm being bullied by robots. Now, to make matters worse, and this is kind of what I was getting at from the start with this video, there was actually a surprisingly widespread issue where, in September and October, hundreds of creators, and probably more, had their videos completely demonetized, and YouTube blamed it on what it's calling invalid ad traffic. Their official excuse is that there was suspicious activity like click farming bots or something which caused them to completely refund their ad buyers, meaning creators had their revenues flattened to zero. Even legitimate ad revenue was totally wiped out. And the evidence that this invalid traffic excuse is bunk is actually pretty overwhelming. So my Rosalia and Nomi video performed as well as the rest of my Should You Summon videos, but according to YouTube, every single one of those views was fake. I really doubt that. Even my video on how I'm building the Sage of the Trees made more ad revenue on 3 views on November 1st than it did in 1,000 views on October 31st. Very suspicious. Anyway, there's not really much I can do about Google. As I've already said multiple times, revenue's not high on my list of concerns when it comes to creating good YouTube content for this community, but working hard on a fun video and then seeing it completely wiped out is definitely a minor hit to the motivation, I'm not gonna lie. I have had many months of making $0, so that's not a big concern for me. What is more concerning is that YouTube hasn't really told any of us a way to prevent this from happening again in the future. I feel it's YouTube's responsibility to protect their content creators from malicious advertisers, bots, or whatever else is happening behind the scenes that caused this. Until they actually start doing that, this brings me around to my second topic of the evening, and that's channel memberships. I've actually had access to these for a while, but I wanted to spend some time mulling over what meaningful membership perks would be. My number one priority is that no one will lose access to anything or miss out on anything if they decide not to join the channel. I mentioned offhand in the first Fireside chat that I was considering making the videos in that series to be a membership perk, but since I've already posted a couple of them, I don't want to take that away. Similarly, you won't need to join the channel to vote in my Gates of Folly community polls, because that's a regular community fixture by now. So what does this join button thing actually do? Basically, membership is a way for you to save me from the capricious whims of advertising algorithms and malicious ad buyer refunds. So instead of trusting Google not to claw back all my hard-earned vouchers and crystals, you can instead support the channel directly so I can keep focusing on creating polished, well-organized content. Trust me, I'm not getting rich off this. I'm hoping membership will basically keep my monthly Adobe subscription going, and that alone would be awesome. You can join a basic gold tier that'll get you these snazzy channel badges next to your name in the comments and chat. You can also join the full Langrisser tier and get grateful shoutouts at the end credits of each video, and probably some outtakes and rough cuts and commentary. I want to keep these tiers relatively close in terms of perks, out of respect for the fact that everybody has a different capacity for contribution, and I don't want to exclude people on that basis. I also have a YOLO Echo of Light tier for any big-hearted person of means out there who might be feeling extra generous. Contrary to expectations, with a couple very specific exceptions, I don't wail on this game. I have the monthly subscriptions, and I'll buy the daily summoning packs on months where there's a string of new heroes I really want, but that's about it. When I miss, I miss. So if you'd like to subscribe to this tier, I'll turn your donation into vouchers and do a full summoning video on the month's new major update heroes, sponsored by you. If you'd rather keep it anonymous, or if you'd rather your donation go to cover channel expenses instead or something like that, then we can make that work as well. So yeah, if that sounds fun, then memberships are available as of right now, so go ahead and consider joining. Next up, I have a couple of quick passing thoughts on longer-term channel goals that won't be happening soon, so they're still kind of half-baked. We're just kind of getting chiller and chiller as this Fireside chat goes on. So it seems like only yesterday that I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I had that big fun Summonfest where I had to pull an SSR on every single available banner, including the crap ones. I got lucky, and it happened to line up with the Ares launch banner, but getting Gerald and Layla from the normal hero summoning banner, that was a classic moment. I'm going to do another one of those Summonfests at 3,000 subs, which is my next major milestone. I don't know what'll be on the summoning menu when that time comes. It's kind of hard to predict when that'll happen, but that's part of the fun. And just to dangle a carrot for the more distant future, I've also decided to give away the Lana figurine that Zelon Games shipped me as a Strategy Squad reward, because, well, why not? I got that reward because of you all anyway, so I think I'll set that for 5,000 subs. Let's see if we can get there. I'll probably die of old age before we get much higher than that, but that'll give me plenty of time to hash out some kind of contest details or something. So yeah, hopefully that sheds some light on some of the devious inner workings of YouTube psychology. I'm having a good time though, and I hope you are too. It's actually been just about a year now since I've started seriously making content for Langrisser. I do have a lot of fun stuff in the pipeline, including some more epic community crossovers and just for fun videos like the Dios summoning session, in addition to my usual quality content, of course. So, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Langrissing, everyone.